We promised fireworks, and Ducati have delivered fireworks with Danilo Petrucci in scintillating and sensational form in Sepang as lap times tumble on the third and final day of MotoGP testing over in Malaysia. All's fairing in love and war. The aero battle in MotoGP rages on. We've seen new fairings today from Yamaha, from Honda, and from the factory Ducati team as well. All-important race simulations being carried out on this third and final day. A very impressive race run just completed over in the Far East by Yamaha's Maverick Vinales. More on that later. And coming up live and exclusive in about 1 hour's time. Stay tuned to After the Flag. Jorge Lorenzo, the triple MotoGP World Champion, joining us live at around 11:30 a.m. Barcelona time. Good morning, a very warm welcome to you from MotoGP headquarters here in Barcelona. Wow. What a final day we've had so far over at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. We have still got another half an hour on track to go, but what a final day it's been so far for Ducati. A truly remarkable performance by their new factory rider Danilo Petrucci. When you left us yesterday, we suspected possibly that the all-time fastest ever two-wheel lap of Sepang would be broken. That record was held by Jorge Lorenzo, who, as we say, will be joining us a little bit later on today, a 1:58.830. That was the lap time that everybody was looking at this morning in slightly cooler conditions. Could anybody beat it? Well, they could, and some. Danilo Petrucci obliterating that record lap, a 1:58.239, ducking under Lorenzo's benchmark from last year by 0.6 of a second. And as we say, what a morning for Ducati, with Pecco Bagnaia in second place. Outstanding job by the Moto2 World Champion. And, of course, the rookie in MotoGP, Jack Miller third, and Andrea Dovizioso fourth. It's been a good job for the Italian factory.
New chassis. In general, Ducati, like you said, they've got to be feeling good, Talking to Davide Tardozzi, he's not. He said you can't rest on your laurels, you've got to keep fighting forward. But, yeah, the test has gone well. Absolutely stunning stuff. But having said that, when Petrucci did test the new aero fairing, he broke it. It was a big crash. Like, I heard it while doing an interview, that the sliding went on forever. I was like, hope he's all right. Then Danilo, not far afterward, walked past in his, his trademark walk, and he was absolutely fine. Then a little bit later, I'd say an hour or two later, Jack did the same with Pramax version of that new aero package Ducati have, and so I don't think there's any more here. I think they're both broken. We saw the arm, that we saw it. It's a torque arm that goes to the rear brake from the chassis. Saw that come back. Danilo tested it only, and fantastic, exciting day. Yamaha a hard time. Still, he wants that bike to go forward, but he's looking both fast when it comes to qualifying, like putting in a good lap, but also race runs. He's got to be a favourite. But having said that, there's two things. There is a lot of the Ducati, especially the factory two guys, I would say are the same. They're really good on lap time, but also race runs. And I would say Rins as well. I would say those guys would be my favourites at the moment if you send them out to have a race, A
race simulation which was around 20 laps. Quite a few 59s in there as well, and low minute 2 minutes. So, he's looking really, really strong.
Yeah, these are pictures from Maverick Vinales. Of course, he was quickest on track yesterday after Marc Marquez had dominated the opening day, the reigning world champion. Vinales was saying to the media last night there, which I thought was really interesting, he said it feels like after the change that Yamaha made over the winter, there's been this big management reshuffle behind the scenes in Awata, lots of change in the engineering group, that he feels like the DNA of the M1 is back. And all he pretty much said was, if we can just find a little bit more smoother power delivery, I'll feel as good as what I did when I came to Yamaha in 2017, when of course he had that sensational start, winning 3 of the first 5 races. It seems like Maverick is a whisker away from rediscovering that golden touch with the bike.
It does seem that way, yes. And there was another thing that he said yesterday, which I thought was quite comforting for Maverick Vinales supporters, which was, we're much better than 2018 already. I feel a lot better than I did at any point during last season. But
basically we are getting all the confirmation, because after 2 days that the rider tried different things. Now we come up with almost all the plan, and the most important thing is the rider more or less choose the same thing. So the pad is the right one, and the direction of the development is good, and that is really important for us. I mean, especially for the Japanese engineer, because they can work only for one goal. Valentino tried the different side pod the first day, and Maverick just did that now. And now we're just discussing, because you know this year it's really important to choose the right one, because then once you decide you can't remove, you have to keep it. So now they are just discussing.
He needs to remain calm and stress-free, because whenever basically he blows his fuse, then we're going to see performances like Barcelona in 2017 when he was outside the top 10, or other instances last year when he was just basically a little ball of fury and angst. So I think Esteban Garcia, obviously he's got technical capabilities, but he's also there to keep Maverick calm, to keep him concentrated on the job at hand. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that relationship develops through this year.
Well, you can see from these pictures, Maverick Vinales, just the body language on that M1. He looks more in tune with the bike. Of course, he was fiercely critical of Yamaha throughout many times last year, so it would be fantastic to see him back up there. One of the many things that Vinales and Valentino Rossi have been running through over the course of these opening 3 days of the 29 winter testing programme, like many of the factories, of course, has been different engine specs, different chassis on offer, different swing arms, new fairings. Well, Yamaha, of course, they're part of the game. This was what we saw unveiled on Maverick Vinales' bike earlier on today. This was him putting that new aero package through its pace. It's crucial that, of course, you make your decisions right at this stage of the year, because the fairing that you homologate in Qatar in a few weeks' time for the first race, well, you're not allowed to change that. I think you get one modification throughout the year. Gone are the days where you can see fairings with
Danilo, 58.2, the fastest ever lap so far here in Sepang. How happy are you?
A lot, but it counts very few. I'm happy, especially about yesterday, about the race simulation, about how we ride in the hot, and that was I think the mainly focus we had. This morning, yeah, I did only one attempt and was very fast. I didn't believe to my chrono, because I said maybe it was wrong, but I push a lot. But I have still 3 soft tire in my pit. But we decide to work during the day with the used tire. Then we try some new things. Unfortunately, when I tried the new fairing, I crashed immediately at the 5th corner, and that was a shame. And I have some pain in my hands by the blisters. So we decided that our work is done for today, for this test. We are happy. Both for the pace, both for the lap time, even if, as I told you, it counts not so much.
I think you have new chassis to try. You have some positives from this item?
No, I haven't tried the new chassis. I try some new pieces. We found something interesting, but I think Andrea already tried that chassis and say it was not a step forward. So they decided to not let me try the chassis. So I don't know if they bring something new in Qatar. And also regarding the fairing, unfortunately I destroyed it after 1 minute. And so they haven't told me what's the positive and negative things for not be too much focused on that point. But anyway, I will try in Qatar, hopefully for more laps.
Thank you, and we look forward to see you in Qatar.
Thank you. See you.
No surprise there to see Danilo Petrucci with a smile just about as wide as the Sepang International Circuit. Brilliant performance from him. An up and down day in many respects, of course. The honour at the moment of being the fastest man ever to lap the Sepang Circuit. That 1:58.239 with the clock ticking down. 8 minutes remaining, and he still holds sway. The down, of course, was this moment, right on cue, perfect timing, thanks to our production guys. The crash at turn 5, one of the fastest crashes you can have around the Sepang circuit. blind entry downhill off camber, and that was unfortunately him wrecking some beautiful artwork done by Gigi Dell'Igna and his aerodynamics team back in Borgo Panigale. So not really inconclusive really at this stage from Petrucci about the positives and benefits of that new aero fairing. Thankfully, he was better off than what his bike looks like. Just saying to Davide Tardozzi there, yes, I'm okay, perfectly fine. A couple of knocks on his hands. Daniele Ramagnoli there on the left, his crew chief, just checking that his charge is perfectly okay. But take nothing away from Petrucci, Neil. I think you've got to say, this has been the best test of his career. Not only with the fact that he still leads the way with that breathtaking lap of 1:58.239, but he's looked really strong in terms of his race pace, which is something that he knew he needed to work on. Yesterday was like gold for him, being able to follow Andrea Dovizioso, his teammate, for those 10 laps. He said he learned so much following Dovizioso. So it was a brilliant, positive day. Before we come back to Ducati, though, we can actually go live over to Malaysia and join Johan Zarco, the factory KTM rider. How did he get on in Sepang?
Johan, tell us about day 3 at Sepang.
Day 3 is still some improvement. I really tried this morning to have a better improvement, but I did not expect that all the others are going that fast. Good job from Danilo and from all the Ducatis. Has been quite incredible. So it's good to see this evolution of everybody, and it really means that we are happy about what we did, but we still need a lot of work, and it's not a surprise. So kind of happy that I improve my feeling, I control well the bike, much better the bike, I do not crash, and it's important. I finally ride doing 5 days, so kind of tired now, and we will see what I can do in Doha with a new track, and see also it will be good to have 3 days of test before the race. But it's gonna be interesting to see if we can adapt a little bit more quick than we did here in Malaysia to then prepare the season.
Did you achieve what you wanted to at this test?
About lap time, I think yes, I got even better than what I could expect, and few direction also about development of the bike has been yes. Has been done, and yeah, we reached good points of all the plan they had before.
What would you like to improve ready for Qatar?
Even if our engine is interesting to use, we feel that we can have a better engine with stronger from the low RPM, and then gets maybe some RPM. It's some new things we should have during the season. So yeah, develop the engine, and then about the riding, when I could follow over all the top guys of the day, I see that all this acceleration, and not only by the power of the engine, but by using this grip and this capacity to have a good drive out of the corner. It's the place we have to improve, because when you get tired and your tires are used, it's a moment that you are happy when your bike can do it for you.
Petrucci, for me, it's been the best test he's ever had in his Grand Prix career. Like we said, not only is it the fact he's got brilliant one-lap pace, but he seems to have made a step forward in that crucial tyre management in hot conditions. Learned so much chasing his teammate Andrea Dovizioso yesterday. I think it's fair to say it's been a brilliant 3 days for him.
It has been a fantastic 3 days for Petrucci. He said before him and Dovizioso completed that run together on track yesterday, he said to Dovizioso, look, if I'm falling behind you, go ahead, don't wait up for me. But he said he was actually pleasantly surprised to see that he was keeping up with Dovizioso without breaking sweat, really, at the end of that run. And he said at the end of 20 laps, basically the tyre on the back of the Ducati was like new. So that bodes very well indeed, because this was one of his most difficult races, and indeed Dovizioso's most difficult race in all of last year, I think you could say.
I think that finally we select some good parts. Riders are pretty happy about some of the news we bring for the chassis. We had tested this morning the new fairing tool on Dovi's bike. Petrucci will test in the afternoon, so they are happy about that. Dovi is happy about that, and he's happy too. In general, we are happy, but as I already said, our competitors are very tough, and we see that Yamaha is back on the top, and Alex Rins with Suzuki is very consistent in on the race pace. So when Marquez will be helped, will be there, Jorge Lorenzo will be there. So we are happy, but we are not blamed. So we know what is gonna be the first race.
Jack, I think a very productive day for you. 58.3. The lap time was just impressive. Which are your comments on this final day here in Sepang?
Yeah, the outright speed is really good. No, I'm happy with the way the test went in this area, but yeah, doing the race simulation at 3:30, nice and hot. Not so happy with how that went. Struggled with the tires from the start. You know, I had a lot better pace on all the tires, let's say yesterday. So I don't know, we need to study the data a little bit more and see what was wrong, if there's the tire or if I was riding differently or the pressure went up too high with the temperature that was out there at the moment. So still a lot of work to do, but of course happy with the lap time.
We saw you testing the new aero fairing. Which are the first thoughts of this new item?
Yeah, it was nice to have that, but it's a shame I went and wrecked it. But, it's a good step, I think. We still have some work to do with it in terms of speed and stuff like that, but I'm sure the guys will work hard for the Qatar test.
Between here and Qatar, which is the main target of the area to improve?
It's just bike fitness, you know, go away from here, continue working on the fitness, and be as ready as we can be for Qatar, because, you know, after a long winter, even though we do a lot of training and stuff like that, nothing compares to being here in these temperatures trying to ride these bikes around.
Thank you, Jack, and great job.
Thank you.
Final confirmation then on your screens. Perfect Petrucci, perfect for Ducati, that stunning 158.239, obliterating Jorge Lorenzo's previous ever fastest lap of Sepang. A Ducati lockout of the top four with Pecco Bagnaia, Jackman and Andrea Dovizioso second, third and fourth respectively. Maverick Vinales fifth, but he has had stunning race pace throughout this week. Cal Crutchlow sixth, then Aleix Espargaro, Franco Morbidelli, Taka Nakagami and Valentino Rossi rounding out the top 10. A well below par and not fully fit reigning world champion Marc Marquez 11th, ahead of Alex Rins. Stefan Bradl in for the injured Jorge Lorenzo, who we'll be hearing from very shortly, in 13th. Tito Rabat 14th. Joan Mir made big progress on the final day. He was 15th, ahead of fellow rookie Fabio Quartararo. Then Zarco, Pol Espargaro, Miguel Oliveira and Karel Abram. No time set today for Andrea Iannone. A nightmare start to 2019 for the Italian on the factory Aprilia. More hopefully on that a little bit later on as well. Bradley Smith, the British rider, of course, now the full-time test rider for Aprilia. He came in to replace Andrea Iannone to do some of the testing work on the RSGP. Smith set a 2:00.995 to finish 26th on the standings today. But Danilo Petrucci, the new Mission Winnow Ducati rider, he was on top of the timesheets. And we can go now live over to Sepang to speak to his teammate, Andrea Dovizioso, on what's been a stunning start to the year for Ducati.
Andrea, incredibly fast lap time today, also consistent times. How do you feel about today?
Yes, the lap time of a lot of riders were really fast, under the record, so it was a nice feeling to see that number. I'm happy to see a lot of Ducati on front. This is important to confirm. I'm happy about the lap time I did. I'm happy in the way we worked during these 3 days, because yesterday we did a good work. We tried everything we wanted, so happy about these 3 days. It's always very tough after 3 months in this condition in Malaysia track. So, but I'm happy. We're going home quite happy. It's not enough. It's never enough. Also, we saw a good pace today from Maverick. The track was a bit better today, so we can make a real comparison. But overall, I think we confirm what happened during the weekend race here in Malaysia. A part of the race, because in the race we found a strange condition, what we couldn't find during these 3 days. But anyway, I'm happy about the material we tried and the feeling I have with the bike. We already start in a better situation than how we finished last season.
We saw a lot of new technology on the bikes today, like chassis, swing arms, fairings. Does it feel like Ducati are going forward?
Yes, you know, it's difficult to improve the bike when the base is good. In the past, we have a lot of things to improve, so it was hard work, but it was a bit easier to improve the bike. So fortunately, it's difficult now because our base is good. But we improved something. I'm happy. I didn't expect to have a better feeling with the two pieces, so happy about that. But the engineers are working so hard, and I think we will have something more for the future.
Is there anything you're not happy with?
Yes, always. It's normal. Yes, in the middle of the corners, I think still we miss something. But it's difficult during the test. I was focused to test by myself and with Danilo, so we didn't really rode with the other bikes, so I don't know how much we really improved, but quite happy.
Thank you, Andrea.
Pecco, first of all, congratulations, 58.3. How you did it?
Just riding, because we make a really great work in these days. Then the first day, till now, I understand a lot of things on the bike, most of all how to ride it, because it's a completely different riding style compared to Moto 2. You have to pick up before the bike, before using more the traction of the bike, and what was one of the aspects that I was to understand. And it was possible. In the last day, today, I was riding like more a MotoGP rider. That was my goal, and my objective was beat the 2 minutes. And what I've done is very important for us, but we need to concentrate more on the pace for the race. That was good, but we need to improve a little bit.
If we compare Jerez to here, you did a really big step, Pecco. Which things with the bike are feeling more confident, and which things you would like to improve for Qatar?
For sure, in the braking now I can brake very hard, and in Jerez was difficult for me, but now has been one of my key for for beating the 159. And nothing. For sure, we have to improve on the pace, of the duration in the race, because I've seen that I don't use too much the tires, but in the race you never know. When you are with half second better in the pace, for sure you will use more the tires. But our objective will be in Qatar to understand how to be constant with a good grip.
Thank you, and well done, Pecco.
Thank you.
Mark, talk us through day 3 at Sepang.
So the day 3 was very positive, because especially about my physical condition, I feel much better. Yesterday afternoon I was quite worried, and I didn't know if I was able to ride today. But today I start more quiet. I mean, I just start and riding a little bit, but then yeah, we keep going. We try many things, the most important ones, and the rhythm I felt good. I felt comfortable on the bike. So very happy for this last day, and the feelings are good. So yeah, we did all what we planned for these 3 days.
Mark, we saw some new technology on your bike today, namely the wings and the box under the seat. Any steps forward?
We are trying a few different things. I mean, sometimes it's important to try all the new things that HRC bring, and yeah, we are looking for improve, and for be faster and for be more competitive. And yeah, some of them are working, some of them still we need to understand more, but we are in a good way.
Okay. And overall, to sum up the test, you got everything done that you wanted here?
No, of course I would like to ride more and more laps, but my physical conditions were not 100%, were far from 100%, but even like this, I'm very happy because today, you know, first day okay, but it was normal because I was fresh. Second day was much worse, the feeling on the shoulder, and this last day I was very happy because I was riding
not in my riding style, but I was riding constant, fast, easy, and this was the most important. And yeah, important thing also that we didn't crash. We just tried to understand the things. We tried the most important things for Repsol on the team, and yeah, continue like this. Thank you.
More like Masterio Honda in Argentina when he's looking to be back to his physical best.
Yeah, exactly, Matt. And that's something that he said yesterday. He said, actually, what the medics that are helping him, what they expect, he's well on track, he's ahead of schedule, but his own expectations were perhaps a little bit unrealistic. Let's not forget that this was a shoulder that as soon as he was put under an anaesthetic, it dislocated by itself. So that's how badly the shoulder was in shape. But yeah, he's just had to build himself up very gently and slowly. And the only bike training that he's had since the operation, let's not forget, is basically on a 100cc mini bike. So it's obviously going to be a bit of a shock to the system climbing on one of these things. And, you know, he's been...
At this point, we are still in the middle of testing. We have tried with Mark and also Stefan Brado for the first option. But we still have some other options to do in the next 2 hours. So at the end of the day, we will make more conclusion and we will decide what to do for the next test and also for the first race. Yeah, I think so. I would say 80% of what we have tried to achieve have been done. So I'm quite happy for this. Yeah, very good weather for 3 days, and the track is very good, in very good condition. And well, you can see the lap times are very fast. And yeah, overall, I'm very happy.
Last day here in Sepang, you did a good, very good step forward because you improved your lap time in 1/2 second. What kind of things have you changed to this big step?
Basically, after 5 days, we try many configurations of the 19 bike, and yesterday we mainly focus on race distance, long distance. We try with full tank almost all day to set up the bike, and we did, I will say, a solid, good race simulation. And today the plan this morning has been to try to improve one single lap with less weight in the fuel tank, because during the season we had struggling a little bit because we had some problems that we don't have when we have more weight in the bike. So this morning we changed a little bit the balance of the bike with no weight in the tank, also the electronic, and we try our best. And after 4 days, I'm satisfied about the lap time we did.
Now, do you feel more comfortable for the next test and maybe to start the season?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that we improved the most during this test is my position on the bike. With the 19 bike, I feel that I'm, let's say, more normal, much better than the last season. And we also work a lot in the electronic, trying to find better acceleration out of the slow corner, because this has been one of the issues of the last season. And in the electronics also we make one small step, and I'm satisfied.
Regarding for the next test for Qatar, what will you do during these 2 days?
Obviously to reconfirm that 19 bike is better, because it's important to try in another track. So the first day I will say that will be like shakedown to try the new bike, and then obviously we have to try new parts and to prepare the race, because the first race of the season is always very important.
Thank you.
Yeah, very positive test in many respects for Alex Espargaro and the Aprilia factory team. Knocking on the door of the top 6 today was Alex, so great job by him. We'll talk and elaborate a little bit more about Aprilia in just a moment, because we can go live now to Malaysia, or very, very shortly we'll go over live to Malaysia, where we can hear from Taka Nakagami, the LCR Honda rider, who I believe is ready to talk to us. There he is, he's popped up on our screens right now. Taka, over to you.
Oh, here we go. Nakagami-san, can you give us a summary of the test? Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. Really hard 3 days physically, and also this hot condition doesn't help for the make laps. But anyway, really important for us that these 3 days we are improving day by day. So yeah, pretty happy to finish into the top 10 again. So the lap time is not so bad. I'm a little bit missing just make a one lap. But anyway, really improving a lot the race pace, and with the UZ tires, so I'm really happy to finish this test.
I know you don't have the technology updates that the factory team have, but is there somewhere you think you can improve for Qatar?
I don't know. You know, as I said last time, we don't have any new items, so it's quite simple, and just we try to improve in our setup. So anyway, we have good potential on the bike, so try to be stronger, and this is what we can do.
Thank you, Taka-san.
Yeah, thanks to Simon Crowfart, thanks to Taka Nakagami. What a way he finished 2018, of course, fastest in that Jerez test at the end of November. And what a start to 2019 as well for Taka Nakagami. 3 days, 3 finishes inside.
I understand a little bit more the bike, because I think at the end this is the really first test for me, because the first 2 tests are a little bit difficult, but in any case now we start to work, and the situation more or less is good. We improve step by step, exit by exit. This is the
level of the lap time is very good. We improved almost a second compared to last year and reduced the gap a lot. So we are really satisfied with the performance of the new bike. This on the single lap, but also the let's say race pace is apparently very close to the top riders. So we are. Looks good. Well, it's been a very positive winter. We have improved the performance, as I said before. And also we started exploring new way of developing the bike, especially on the chassis side, and it's really promising. And we are starting to get some first results.
And recovering at his home in Switzerland from a damaged left scaphoid bone. But I am delighted to say, live and exclusive on After the Flag, we can say hello and good morning to a 5 times world champion, Jorge Lorenzo. Good morning, Jorge.
Hello, good morning to you.
How are you, Jorge?
I'm pretty good. I'm still in the main process of recuperation from my injury on the wrist, so it's not a simple injury, for sure. It's quite complicated, and the scaphoid is always a difficult bone. But recovery is going pretty fast, and I'm quite satisfied about that.
Yeah, at what stage are you now in the rehabilitation process? What are you doing daily? Are you having regular physiotherapy? What kind of treatment are you undertaking?
Well, 3 or 4 days ago, I already started to swim a little bit on the pool. Every day we are gaining some degrees in my wrist and also power. Every day I feel stronger, but obviously the nature is the nature, no? And this kind of injuries requires at least 1 month to really feel well. And we are now more or less in the day 17, day 18 after the operation, so it's still quite a long process to finish, maybe half of it. But I'm sure in Qatar test, probably I will not be 100%, but I will be quite able to write and take some information for engineers just very close to the first race.
Hi Jorge, it's good to hear that your rehabilitation is going well. What condition do you think you will be in for the first race in Qatar? I mean, it's just over 1 month away from now.
I don't know. It's difficult to know because I still didn't ride any bike. Neither any bicycle, just the static bicycle. So difficult to know how I will feel when I arrive in more than 300 km per hour in the straight, and I had to brake and to stop that MotoGP bike. Difficult to understand, and also in the change direction. But as I told you, the recuperation is going, I think, faster than the normal cases. So this is a good signal. And still we have 15 or 14 days to Qatar, so still a lot of days to get better, and that's the good thing. But I think obviously this injury, I will have some little I don't know, little pain also after 2 months, after 3 months. But I think I will be able to be competitive in the first race.
Jorge, we're just looking at some footage of you right now in testing in Jerez back in November. You had 2 very positive tests on the Honda in Valencia and in Jerez, even though at that stage you weren't fully fit, of course, after some of your injury problems at the end of 2018. Straight away on the Honda, you look very confident, very comfortable. What were your first impressions, and how do you feel your riding style will suit the bike this year?
Well, I cannot tell so much technical stuff, but what I can say is that I like the bike. I like the team. The team is very professional. I am always I am grateful about the attention and the way they hear what my comments and the things I tell about the bike. This is very important for me. And the bike is very different, no, from the one I was using the last 2 years, no. It's, you just have to see the dimensions of the bike to realize the difference between my last bike, no. It's much more smaller and this have the pros and the negative points. But for the moment, as you said, my attention has been great. Knowing that I was not completely full recovered on my injury. So I think to finish 4th in the last day in Jerez was a very good signal. But now my target and my main focus is to recover this injury, to be able to ride at least like I ride in Jerez.
Jorge, as you just said, you had 2 tests at the end of 2018. Was there one thing that you asked Honda to change for the 2019 bike, one improvement to make?
Well, I told them what I felt on the bike and what I think we need to improve compared to what I felt when I was riding the bike and what I think our rivals have as a strong points. But obviously I keep it secret because it's a secret information between us, and it's better like that. But the perfect bike doesn't exist. We always need to be very concentrated and to work a lot because the competency never sleeps, and for sure we will improve the bike little by little.
Jorge, we saw you at the team launch a few weeks ago in Madrid with some Repsol Honda legends. Mick Doohan was there, Alex Crivier was there, of course, and the new HRC Dream Team, it's being called, Jorge Lorenzo and Marc Marquez. How special was that just to be in that famous Repsol Honda livery for the first time and really be part of such a historic project? It must have been a real special emotion for you.
Yeah, it was a very special day. Obviously, I would like to be able at that moment to be perfect and not with the hand like that. They had to cut me the leather to go into the leather. But anyway, I was able to be there with the press and to live and to experiment this unbelievable moment. Also was very nice because they take also Alex and Mick with us. So they were at that time the dream team of Honda. The couple who won almost everything for a couple of years, and after 25 years we reunited together to celebrate a good welcome for the new season that looks like it's going to be very promising and very emotional. No?
Jorge, obviously this wrist injury that you have now isn't ideal, but we look at the reigning world champion Marc Marquez, who is also recovering from injury. Do you think that you can challenge Marc for the world title this year, or is that too big an expectation?
I always say that MotoGP, anything is impossible, no? But of course, we have to be realistic and we have to understand our limitations at that point. Our limitations, I don't think is because lack of speed or a lack of talent or lack of motivation or lack of hard working, no? But yes, it's about an experience, no? An experience to know the bike, because we have to understand that now more than ever we have less tests and prepare a go through from one bike to another, and this is difficult, no? Just three or 4 tests is not enough to know the bike perfectly, and it's not going to be easy. Also knowing my last injury, so for sure we will struggle a little bit in Qatar and in the next 2 or 3 races. But I think our goal is to improve the bike, to be able to be competitive, to be able to be fast. If we can win races, good. And who knows if something is much better than we expected, also we can fight for the world title. But at this moment, for sure, I am not one of the favorites. So there are other riders, like for example Mark, obviously that is the favorite, who need and who must fight for the world title, together with Dovizioso, Valentino, that is always there and knows the bike completely, and Viñales for example. No?
Jorge, just one final question before we let you continue your rehabilitation. Of course, there's been 3 days of testing going on over in Malaysia. We know that Marc Marquez, your teammate, is still recovering from a major operation on that left shoulder. We know Cal Crutchlow is still recovering from that nasty injury he suffered in Phillip Island. But that said, you've got to be encouraged by the potential of the bike that's been shown this week. The Hondas have looked quite strong. Just what are your general impressions of this week's test? Your old team Ducati looking very, very strong. It looks like the level in MotoGP, it's going to be as tough as ever in 2019.
Yeah, well, we are living in a golden era because races look spectacular and competition is closer than ever. So we can see the classification of this test. Yeah, it looks like Ducati they profit of all the power and all the good stability they have in this particular track. They finished fourth for Ducati in the first 4. That's a good signal for them for sure. But pre-season is always pre-season, and one lap is only one lap. There's always more important things like the pace, the feeling and the comfortability that feels the rider when goes into a race pace. So we cannot take so many conclusions about that. But for sure, also the Honda riders looks strong. Mark dominated the first day. Bradal and Nakagami don't look very far from the top guys, so that's a good signal in an always complicated track for us. That is always has been Sepang. So yeah, happy and with a lot of and looking forward to jump again into the Honda.
Jorge, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We wish you well in your recovery from the wrist injury. We can't wait until February the 23rd to see you for the first time on track in that stunning, beautiful Repsol Honda livery. And we wish you all the success as well in 2019. Thanks very much, Jorge. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much. See you in Qatar very soon.
Carl, considering the horrific injury, the time off, long runs must have been difficult, but you must be really happy with the pace.
Yeah, I'm happy at the end of the third day to be finished, to be honest, as well. My ankle was getting sore and hot and swollen, but I feel in good shape. I feel the ankle is in good shape on the bike as well. It doesn't bother me on the bike, it bothers me when I stop. So I kept the runs, the length of the runs quite minimal today. I didn't need to do anything big. We were testing items more than testing for race pace or anything like that, but I was really pleased with my pace this afternoon. All day. On the used tyres we were very, very consistent and very fast, which is good, and it's good going into Qatar. It's good after a 3-month layoff, I can tell you that, to be able to ride again and be competitive. For the overall lap time I should have went a lot faster, but I crashed. It was completely my own fault. I went into turn 2 overexcited. I lost 0.3 in the first sector on my fastest lap compared to a good lap. So the next lap I pushed like a madman, thinking I need to go like half a second faster than what I had done the previous lap, and I had some chatter and crashed. Tried to save it and crashed. So that was with the really soft tyre, the test tyre, and I think that on average you could take about 6 to 8 tenths off. So I'm confident we could have gone quite a lot quicker, but I never made it, and then I never used that tyre again the rest of the day.
How much better is the 2019 bike from the 2018?
I don't feel comfortable on it at the moment, I have to be honest, but that's me. I think the bike is better, but my feeling, I need to adjust the bike more. I'm quite a guy that can ride quite a neutral bike, but I haven't found a perfect setting with the front of the bike in the moment. But overall, the package, I think HSC is doing a great job. I think they've bought us a bike that can be competitive for the championship, and I look forward to riding it this year.
Thank you.
Well, Alex, tell us about this final day here in Sepang.
Well, I think today was a very positive day, but I think the last 2 days also was positive. We try a lot of things, a lot of positive things. I think we developed a little bit more the bike than on the race. So I think our package now is better than in the race. For sure, we need to keep working. We need to try new things on Qatar, because here we don't have time. But anyway, I think will be interesting this championship. A lot of riders on the front. The level is so high. So let's see what happens on race.
Which should be the homework from the Japanese engineers between here and Qatar?
Well, they need to analyze all the data they had from these 3 days. We did a lot of laps on 59. It's a good thing. So I think that they need to analyze, and then if they can do something new, I will be happy.
And finally, Alex, are you worried about the speed that the Ducatis showed today?
No, because on race will be different for sure. Ducati, for 1 lap, they always are very fast. But we will see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong.
Thank you, and see you in Qatar.
Thank you.
Juan Mir, he had an excellent final day. Here he is popping up on your screens right now. He'd been able to dive under the 2-minute barrier for the first time. A really, really encouraging day for Juan Mir. Let's hear what he had to say about it in Malaysia.
Juan, P15, just 3/10, slower than Alex. How has been this last day here in Sepang?
Has been really good because during these 3 days, the first 2 days we were struggling a lot with trying a lot of things and getting better with this bike. Today I made a good step. Also I have a good pace, and this is really nice. Really happy about these 3 days. We start from the back, and every time getting better.
It's just your third MotoGP test. Which things have you learned during these 3 days here, Juan, riding the MotoGP bike?
A lot of things, because almost 60 laps every day. This is 180 laps is a lot, no? And I learned how to ride this bike a little bit better. I understand a little bit better how to use the tires, to try a lot of things, to understand also a lot of things of mechanical things, you know, and quite well.
Yes, I'm very pleased, because as you know, we came here with some new solution, some new compound in the front, a new compound for the rear, and everything it works very well. Yeah, lap time is very fast. The track conditions are also very good, because we had no rain for the 3 days, so we can do a lot of tests, a lot of laps. So now we have a lot of data to analyze. But the tire performance for sure is very quick. Danilo he set up the fast lap time 58.2. That was with a soft tire from last year. And then Jack Miller, Bagnaia and Dovi, they used the new one, the new rear soft compound. Dovi did also the same lap time with the old one. But in general, the new compound we brought here, they give more grip, better feedback to the riders. The feedback in general is very good. They feel they have better feedback from the tire. The grip is higher, and also it looks like the tire are more consistent. So everything is going in the right way. So now we will try to work as hard as possible to provide this new compound for the first race.
Well, Maverick, fastest man after the 4 Ducatis. How you assessed this final day here in Sepang?
Well, really good. Actually, I missed one time attack in the morning that I planned to make in the afternoon, but finally in the afternoon was so hot that the tire was sliding a lot, so I could not improve the lap time from the morning. But anyway, I'm really happy, because on the race simulation I felt really good. I get really tired, but anyway, I felt really good on the bike.
Are you more confident about the engine selection for the season?
Well, here we only had one, so I focus a lot to trying to improve the acceleration side, and we did it, so it's really important. I mean, in these 2 years is the first step that we go steps ahead, you know, day by day, and that's the most important, that day by day the bike was working pretty similar and not as last year that was working good or bad, but these 3 days were working really good as in the last test.
We saw you testing a new aero fairing. Did you get any positive feedback from that?
Yes, as always, you get positive and negative. You know, now we have to take a conclusion and to see if we can bring it in Qatar.
And finally, have you been riding together with Valentino? And if so, did you take any positive things riding together?
For sure, you always get positive things because you see what the other is doing better or what you are doing better. So it was important to see also the bike, how it's working behind, you know, because I make some laps behind the Ducatis, I make some laps behind the Honda, so I can see how our bike is working. It's not bad, as I said, it's small details, so that's the most important. Last year they were some steps ahead, now we are getting closer.
Thank you, Maverick.
Thank you.
Gigi, first of all, congratulations. 4 Ducatis topping the timesheets today. I think you are probably one of the men of the day. How do you assess this test in Malaysia?
No, honestly, we are very happy about the result of the test. For sure, you know, Marquez was not in the condition to ride the bike in a proper way. Lorenzo is missing, and also Crutchlow has some problem with shape. So, you know, I think that we have to consider properly this test, but for sure we have four bikes in the first position, but this is not the target of this test.
I guess you had a lot of items to try here, new aero package, new chassis, and plenty of more things, probably. Which is the feedback so far from your riders?
You know, for this point of view, we are quite happy from some parts that we tested, but not for all the parts. So we have to analyze the data and understand the parts that didn't give us the result that we expected. We have to improve them, and we have to analyze everything because I think that we have to improve more than we did until now.
Do you have any surprises left for the Qatar test?
You know, for sure we have to continue to push on the development of the bike, and I hope that we will have some other new parts coming for Qatar test. Because like I told before, you know, I'm happy, but I think that we have to push again, because we need something more.
And finally, one final word about Pecco Gigi. How are you seeing his adaptation to the class?
You know, I'm really happy. First of all, for the lap time that he did, and second, because he didn't crash until now. And so I think this is important, because he's doing a good job, step by step, and I think this job can give us and give him some results in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's not an easy question to answer. But mainly for us, I mean, having 6 days, it's quite short, and we can test only two different tracks, and we must be ready to go. So actually, if we have something new, we want to check in 2 different tracks to be 100% sure that that stuff is good enough. So we are open to try everything here in Sepang. Do I watch what they are doing? Of course, because we are always checking.
Yes, we have something new, obviously. We have something again on the engine side and even on the chassis side. As you say, everybody's looking to everybody, but yeah, we have a lot of the new parts here, but we will have some small steps in Qatar too.
We are working in the development phase, fully concentrated on our job. We are not trying to hide anything. MotoGP bike, often they look quite the same year by year. but the real difference are inside, and it's very difficult to. Okay, the aerodynamic side you can easy understand, and we will bring some new stuff, and of course in this kind of part, every team will try to show the latest development as late as possible.
Do you watch the other manufacturers?
Always.
This year, for the first time, is only 6 days testing instead of 9. So you have to try to test as deeply as possible the new parts and the new things. So there's not I think, many cars left. I would like to have many cars in the draw, but let's say more or less you have to make the package working. So try to work as much as you can.
No, actually you try to improve the bike step by step. So sure, we want to improve it another step in Doha. So that's why we don't put everything on the table. But it's also out of the procedure of testing. You start on a point and you finish before the race in Doha.
Now we are comparing materials, and if we see that there are other areas to improve, for sure we will bring something else to Qatar. I don't expect big parts, big news, but for sure the test is made also for this. Honestly, I've been very busy to watch what we prepare internally, but there are other people in our team and looking for the others.
As he puts it, if it's settle for a podium, I'll settle for a podium if I have to. You know how he clicked into that mode last year. I think there's a chance he's going to have to do that in Qatar. I mean, it's a long way off still to Qatar, but it's not. He you know, when you're talking about people healing, it's too close. You know, so really, it's the Ducatis. I would put my money for Qatar race. You know, Ducati goes traditionally well there. My money's on Petrucci and Dovi, you know, being the favourites going into Qatar for that race. If you're talking championship, that it's too early to tell, but really fighting for the championship and being competitive regularly, you're looking at the two Dukes, the two Yamahas, and my favourite in there is Rins, you know. So there's 5 guys I think are going to fight for the championship. It's going to be exciting.
The last couple of years, we know it's been pretty much a straight shootout between Honda and Ducati for the championship. We're just having a look actually at Andrea Dovizioso circulating Sepang earlier on. We know that Suzuki were knocking on the door of race wins towards the back end.
They weren't agreeing, you know. I heard whispers that they wanted to pull different directions. Yamaha have brought them something here, with only one engine, but that they're happy with. Both riders, when I say happy, Maverick still wants more. I think he found some more today with setting the electronics and setup, but at least both riders are happy and agree that engine works, you know. There's no doubt Yamaha have made a good step. Like I was saying, most of them have, and I think they're going to be, like I said, one of those 5 riders that are going to fight Mark for the championship. Once a rookie can take it all the way, you know, and Pecco's one of them that you know, he's a standout one here, but it's going to come down to what track suits these rookies. You know, you'll get Morbidelli at one because he's got a 2. I said, can you believe he's still riding at this pace? You know, he's coming up 40, and they said, so he's got more motivation than us, you know, like, which sums it up. The impression I got was that he motivates the team, you know, like he's like, come on guys, let's go. And it's incredible, you know. Most people that have been that successful and putting their 100% effort in it for how many years, most sportsmen go, it's enough, you know. You kind of lose the drive, and if you lose it at all, you can't compete at this level. And don't forget, you're putting your body on the line as well every time out there. So to me, it's incredible. I don't know how he does it.
In the second half of last year as well, but this will be just a massive confidence boost, not only for the fact that he's top of the timesheets and fast on soft tyres, but he looks like he's made a step forward in terms of his race pace as well. Can you realistically see Petrucci being a threat for race wins on a consistent basis this year?
sincerely hope so. You know, he's such a nice fella. I had a really good chat with him on setup day, so before they got on track, and he told me how he'd moved to Forlì, is it, where Dovizioso lives. He's training with him, using the same psychologist, sports psychologist, which a lot of guys do now because they're under so much pressure, like you said. And you know, he has got the natural ability and the work ethic, and so
Valentino, which is your final conclusion of this 3-day test in Sepang?
Is something I'm happy, half happy, because something worked well and we improve our performance. Something else that we expect a lot, unfortunately, don't bring us what we need. Okay, so for me, it's good because as the first test we improve something, but we have a lot of work to do because the gap was quite big, so we need time. But I'm happy about the atmosphere and especially about the ideas inside, because looks like in Yamaha they are very concentrated for improve, and so this is important.
If there's one thing you would like to improve between here and Qatar, which one will be?
Allora, in the time attack, the Ducati were impressive, yeah, and also we don't have Marquez because of the shoulder problem. So in the hot lap we suffer a little bit. About the pace, looks like we are a bit closer. But I'm quite worried still. So if we race tomorrow, I think that anyway we suffer because we have something else to improve. But as the first test is not so bad. Now Qatar is in 10 days. I don't think that for Qatar we can have something new. But it's another track, it's another temperature, so will be interesting to understand.
Fox.
In the meantime, though, day one belonged to Marquez, day two belonged to Viñales, but it's Petrucci Power pulverising Sepang the record, who starts 2019 fastest and on top of the timesheets. We'll see you again soon.